what's going on with intentions? Those things. So let's just be clear what I mean by intentions. Although, I just said, let's be clear, because that's the whole point. I don't think we get clear on what it is that we desire. Or maybe you do, but then you do that. So I'll get to that in a second. So let's just think about intentions as information and energy, because that's really what an intention is. And another way of thinking about it is, without getting too heavy, although it is a little science here, Science Mondays! So think about it this way. You see your own body, who you are, as separate. Partly it's our hardwiring to see things with the naked eye. So we see things in a three-dimensional form. Then that makes us step outside that we are part of the whole. So actually, scientifically, the universe is contained with you and you are contained within the universe. Think about it this way. Science also proves all a human body is a bunch of atoms coming together at such a rate to create this thing called Jen or Robin or Caitlin or Chris, whatever it is, a tree, a rock, a building. That's what atoms are. And atoms are made up of 99.9% space, which blows my mind. So you're this just empty space coming together to be filled. Well, it's already filled with information. Information that's plugging you into what? Universal information. Another way of saying it is consciousness. Let me use this analogy. If you think about the ocean, it's this gigantic, expansive thing of water, body of water. So that's one entity, and then you have individual waves, specific individual waves doing their thing. The waves are individual, but at the same time, they're part of something bigger. You see what I'm saying? That's who we are. Think about it this way. Our challenge is, human beings have this awareness that you are separate. A rock just is rocking, meaning it's doing its thing. This is what I talk about in the book. A tree is treeing. A flower is flowering. They are part of information, conversations, if you will, with the universe, data doing their thing. Actually, your own human body does it. Think about it. Can you imagine if you intellectually had to organize all the things that are at play in your own cellular body? It would like, you would melt. They are all constantly in communication with one another without you having anything to do with it. Do you not think that there is some driving intelligence that's orchestrating it? Of course, otherwise we wouldn't be this hunk of material, not hunk, that's the word. Thank you. This, mass of material. So, I just lost my train of thought. So distracted. Damn it, I was on a roll there. Oh, okay, so things out that we call out in the universe, a tree, a flower, whatever, are just encoded to do their thing with their imprinting of information. They don't have self-awareness. Our problem is Robin is Robining, Jen is Jenning, Cherry is cherrying, at one level connected to this information grid. But what else happens? We have this mechanics of the left brain that, lo and behold, gets in the way of you doing your thing. That is, I think to me, the crux of what causes pain. Because there's a part of us that wants to deliver us what we're desiring, and then there's the part of us that gets in the way. I'll say it again. You're encoded to be a match to your desire, even desires that you don't even know yet have been birthed inside you. They haven't even been maybe vocalized or come into like your own awareness. That's because we're channels. And then you have this left brain stuff that gets in the way of it. Partly that's interesting, that creates challenges that we have to overcome. So then you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, it's never going to happen for me. And then all of a sudden the pure intention of, I'm a creator, I'm an artist, I'm working, I'm doing amazing projects with people that inspire me. So that's what the universe is wanting to deliver, and then you're saying, I suck. Right? This is always the challenge for me. For myself in my own life and the work that we're doing here at the studio. And also, like so many forward-thinking, new thought thinkers that are talking about these things not in an acting context. So the interesting thing about intention is I was talking with one of my students, we were at a party, and I was actually with Mario, with another teacher here. Of all people, this student who is totally doing amazing, beautiful work, we actually put it to him about, well, what do you want to do? And he said he couldn't say it. He couldn't say what it was that he really wanted for himself in his career and his life and his goals being an actor. And we kept pushing him. We kept pushing him to say it. And finally he's like, I just want to get in a room. Well, wait a minute. You're in a room right now. You get what I'm saying? He's saying he just wants to get in a room, meaning he just wants to get seen by somebody who can give him the job. That's not a clear intention. People, I can walk out there and I'm in another room. You have to be very, very clear on why is it hard for you to say what it is that you want. Well, I get it at one level. Even with, I shouldn't say this name. I'm this person's teacher, and so it doesn't matter. We all learn the same way here, but he's in a safe space, and even he was feeling, we feel vulnerable when we're going to say these things to somebody. We know that oftentimes when we do that, we get rejected for it. Or you share what your desire is with somebody who doesn't get it, and then what happens? They make you feel like it's not possible. Or you get rejected for that. Or then you feel insecure about it because they talk about how impossible that is. So at one level, I'm not advocating that you should be telling your dreams to every single person that comes along. Hey, you want to know my dream? That's not really what I'm advocating. But I do think it's very important that you change your conversation. Certainly, with an inner circle of people who are behind you, you got to start speaking your intention. And I think that's what I want us to just finish with here today, is, you guys, a lot of times when we think about what it is that we're desiring, we get maybe lost in, okay, how do we just get off the attachment of how it's supposed to look? Because that in of itself impedes what it really wants to be. You know, when I started teaching and all the amazing things that have happened at the studio, and even just in the last few years about studios all over the world, I didn't even really have an intent. I don't think I ever came to Robin one day and said, we are opening schools all over the world. When I started teaching in other places, I became clear in the intention that I wanted to take this work out in a bigger way. So I was very specific. But I didn't demand that it looked like it looked, because the details will take care of themselves. But if you don't get specific, how can the universe yield to you what you want? You got to get specific. And I think the thing that I want us to remember is that if you stay in a relationship with the universe and stay in a dialogue, it will help you say things in a way that you feel maybe comfortable in saying. So maybe for you it's too scary to say I'm doing films with, you know, really great directors like Steven Spielberg, because you start to feel like I can't do that. So okay, like I am always advocating, start with smaller beliefs that then you start to manifest and then you make your way there. I had a guy who in Tuesday night who tested for this big huge movie, and oh my God, he almost got it and then he didn't, and he was like, I might as well give up. And I was like, okay, oh my God. Do you know how far you've come? It was a huge movie, huge, and it was between him and maybe not anybody else, maybe just him. And it just didn't happen. Who cares? And so instead of creating a dialogue around wanting to quit, I just threw out an email here. I said, why don't you just mantra things like this? This or something better. That's the truth. It's all working out for me. That's true. Haven't your lives always worked out at some level? It's not about a job. It's about the experience I want to create for myself. I always ultimately get what I want. If I didn't, I wouldn't be standing right here where I am. I'm standing in my power now. Isn't this exciting how it's all unfolding? It's safe for me to let go. I don't have to hold the reins. Let the universe, or whatever you want to call it, do the work. So you guys, I think the point is you just have to put out a clear intention of what it is you want, and then you have to take action to get there, but then let go of the details. Just let go of that.